Welcome to Georgia Highlands College Math 97 and Math 99 instructional videos. In this video segment, we'll be answering the question, how do you multiply rational expressions? Well, the first step is to factor all numerators and denominators in your product. Secondly, you're going to write it as a single fraction with all of the factors being multiplied. We know that rational expressions are really just big fractions with polynomials in the numerator and the denominator. So when you multiply fractions, you multiply straight across. Same thing with rational expressions. And then you're just going to proceed to simplify what you're left with. So divide out any common factors, and you can either write your answer in factored form or you can multiply out those factors and write it in polynomial form. Whatever your instructor would like for you to do. Let's take a look at an example. All right, so I have the example of two rational expressions being multiplied here. X minus 5 over x minus 2 times x squared minus 4 divided by 9x minus 45. And we'll start with the first step of just factoring out all of the numerators and denominators. Well, in that first rational expression, x minus 5 over x minus 2, it is already factored. Both the numerator and the denominator just have one factor in them. But I'm just going to put parentheses around each of the factors just to remind myself when we actually go through the multiplication that that is a factor itself. So I have x minus 5 divided by x minus 2. And I'm going to multiply that with that next rational expression that I do need to factor. The numerator, x squared minus 4, is a difference of squares, and that factors as x plus 2 times x minus 2. And the denominator, 9x minus 45, has a common factor of 9. So I can factor that GCF out of 9 and I'm left with x minus 5. Well, once again, let me remind you, this is just really two big, nasty looking fractions being multiplied together. So you just multiply straight across. The second step in this process is to just remind yourself of that process of just multiplying straight across and creating one big fraction, showing that you're multiplying straight across with all of those factors. This is not a necessary step, but I've found that with my students, it makes it a lot easier to see where the common factors are and you don't get confused with dividing across that multiplication dot that we had in the last form of this problem. So we have a big rational expression now, all factored, and I hope that you're just dying to divide out the common factors that you see. X minus 5 divided by x minus 5 is just 1 because anything divided by itself is 1, except for 0. You know, 0 always has to be weird about things. And then we have x minus 2 divided by x minus 2 is 1 as well. So our final simplified form is x plus 2 divided by 9. So I hope that this has been helpful in understanding how to multiply rational expressions. It's basically the same steps that you take when you multiply just regular old fractions with integers in the numerator and the denominator. So the first thing we did was factored all of the numerators and denominators. Then we wrote it as one big single rational expression. We divided out common factors between the numerator and the denominator. And then we actually wrote it in factored form, but factored form was the same thing as polynomial form in this particular case. If you have any other questions about multiplying rational expressions, please make sure to contact your Highlands instructor. Thank you.